here at Wilcom. Today we're having a chat with Gill, who is a textile designer and student based down in Falmouth.
Well, I've just completed a degree at Falmouth in textile design. One of the elements was using the digital embroidery machine. Yeah. So the work that I did on the machine initially was around bears. We were embellishing a garment.
Right, okay.
So that was the principle, that there had to be some way that you would put the digital embroidery on a garment.
Right, okay.
And in some ways I cheated slightly in that I did digitally embroider a pocket, but the idea was that the bears would actually sit in the pocket.
Oh,
so
that's
you would
so sweet.
Bring the bears in and out of the pocket.
I love that idea.
Some of them were intended to be painted, so they were white, and then some of them were coloured.
Absolutely gorgeous.
So the original drawings, you can.
Oh, they're lovely.
So these are drawings of the bears that I actually own. So this one, I think, is possibly my favourite, and this one is this one.
Oh,
they're things that give me pleasure. So, I translated them into the drawing, and then I put them on. I used the software to draw around, and as I say, the advice was that the sketchy look was really, and that seemed to suit really, because I'd got the base, and then certainly the scratchy drawy type effect.
They're gorgeous. It's translated really well as well. You've managed to get the sketchy look really well into Wilcom. I feel like it's done, it's been done beautifully.
So these were as I say, the initial.
Do you mind if I have a look?
Yeah, go for it.
So how many do you own? Have you got like loads, or is it just a few favourites?
About 8 or 9.
Nice.
I had more, but in moving and just in life.
Yeah.
I'd also got quite a lot of children's books because again I love those illustrations.
Yeah.
I love. There's I can't remember the lady, the author, but Ernest and Celestine, which are a bear and a mouse, and Helen Oxenberg.
Yeah.
And I love Chris Riddell.
Right.
And that drawing, and he's got so much.
Yeah.
He produces so much. I follow him on Instagram and just love the way that he shows you how they develop.
Yeah.
It's just so smart. And of course he utilises them in life drawing and in all sorts of ways, as well as illustrating lots of children's books. That particular project.
I also love, is this the one that you painted on?
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody do that before. That's such a clever technique. What thread did you use? Was that just Madeira like rayon to make that?
Yes.
And you've just painted straight on it?
I think it was the polyester.
Yeah. It's really, really clever. And I feel like as well, if you're starting out on Wilcom and you're really intimidated by the aspect of bringing in loads of colours, that's such a clever kind of way of like getting around it, and also adding in a bit of, because you're able to add like a bit more depth when you paint it.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. No, I love this idea. Also, like, they kind of remind me of like worry dolls in a way. You know, when you like keep something different, like being able to just put in a little bear into your pocket, and each one having a different personality and style. They're brilliant. They're
and you
really
could upscale them. I mean, I've actually put you could
like brooches,
because the original idea was for them just to sit in the pocket.
Nice.
But looking future, I thought perhaps they were actually more versatile.
Yeah.
As a brooch.
Yeah, they're really
or
in a bag or anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is that I could also potentially increase them or decrease them. Yeah. Because the pattern would still work.
Yeah.
So these were the kind of sketch sketchy. I did later on. I just put these.
Gorgeous.
This again. This one is the panda there.
Oh, I love the beading you've added to this as well.
Uh-huh.
That's the thing with like, I love when people combine digital, like use Wilcom and then go in after and add in more hand techniques. What techniques, do you remember what techniques you used on this? Is this a tatami?
Most of that is
Nice.
tatami.
And then you've got some, is that like a free machine or did you do manual stitching? Do you remember? It's a long time ago.
It was running stitch.
Oh, gorgeous.
So this is a silk flower.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I found with the silk flowers is the sheer amount of time that they actually involve, which then translates into potentially them being very expensive.
Definitely.
If I were to sell them. So what I had thought, I mean, the leaves, the petals, and are silk, and with the technique, it's quite involved. So you starch, you then bond, you dye, then you cut out, you wire, you have the heat tool that then forms the shapes, and then obviously you have to assemble. But one of the things that I was considering was in the centre of this one, I'd actually done some applique, so I hand stitched the holes, and then put the beading within the holes. And then I'd put the smaller petals round and then the bigger petals. But when I'd been looking, because I am a bit obsessed now, as I say, with the flowers and taking lots of photographs, one of the things that I'd thought about is the sheer variety of stitch and design that you could do on Wilcom, certainly for the centre.
Yeah, especially with motif fill. I feel like there's so many gorgeous patterns and things that you could really go wild with. And then that's so true. That's such a clever idea of translating that in.
And then again, you've got the possibility of embellishment.
And then you've got more time to spend on the embellishment because you've cut out that before.
and it gives an opportunity to actually experiment, because I suppose I've only really had a limited. I think because on the first occasion that we were taught the software, I really didn't understand. So it was a real struggle to actually produce anything of any quality. And then when I did understand, it was towards the end, or when I understood, I still don't understand.
I know what you mean. Yeah, but there's always going to be stuff that you're trying to learn.
when I gained a little bit more insight, then the time that I had with the machine was much more limited. And because there's two of the Happy machines and there's a brother at Falmouth, of course there was quite a lot of competition. But in another project, I had used the velvet. This was seaweed. This kind of because I'd done a project on, or the narrative was a Selkie who was leaving her lover and leaving kind of treasures. So this was kind of to be part of that treasure. So I had tried on the velvet with the metallic thread, but also I'd done some Nuno felting.
Oh wow! Oh gosh, that's so interesting. I won't lie. I love the metallic thread with the kind of like the shimmer of the velvet. I think they look so nice together. That's like such a nice combo of materials.
And I think
there's definitely that watery movement about it as well.
Yes, and it kind of, because this was first and the flowers were later, but it kind of gave not the idea, but the possibility. It kind of demonstrated that you could use all sorts. So as part of that project, I'd also done some Nuno felting.
What is it called? Nuno felting?
Nuno felting.
How do you do that? I've never even heard of it.
So you use a loose weave.
Right, and is that when
fabric.
you use the embellisher to...
No, for this one I used wet.
Right, okay.
I have used, I don't think I've brought any. But I have used the embellisher. And you can produce, and actually I found using the embellisher and then felting what you've embellished can sometimes produce a really fine, lovely felt.
Oh, really? Noted. Oh God, that's so interesting.
So, so this was a chiffon scarf that I then felted on using merino wool and kind of sparkly bits.
It's gorgeous, the mixture of it all. And then have you added digital embroidery on the top?
Yes.
I love that idea. I've never done digital embroidery on like a fabric that I've produced myself, you know? I think that adds such an interesting like mixing of the very handmadeness of fabric and then adding in the more sort of modern technique of digital embroidery.
And I think that because I was really daunted, our technician was really helpful to try and work out how, because obviously it's not, to try and get it under tension was quite difficult, but we managed to use really well pinned soluble.
Oh, nice.
So we kind of floated it on the soluble fabric, really pinned it down so that it had some tension.
Yeah.
And then embroidered it from there. And I think, I mean, I feel it has a unfinished. I wonder if I've finished it.
There's always the option to go back in. It's always the option. I also love the way it's kind of around the edges, like the way that it's like, I really love that. It's gorgeous. That's so clever, mixing those two techniques together of having the sort of more handmade feel of the fabric and then the digital embroidery on top. I love it. It's amazing. And you've added some little bits here as well. I've
done very little. I think possibly a little bit more of that.
Yeah, they're lovely.
Being really to explore.
Yeah.
And as part of the masters, I haven't brought huge amounts. Well, I had those bits, but things like drawing. I really want to. I mean, this. If I could translate something like this,
it's gorgeous. Yeah.
Again, this was all part of this particular narrative of kind of I'd made seaweed. I mean, again, this is not, or if that, not even that, perhaps this.
That's gorgeous. Oh my gosh.
But I'd kind of made the silk seaweed.
Oh, wow. Oh, I love this.
And these are hands.
Oh, these little detailings on here. And in the metallic threads as well. That's so lovely.
So.
Oh my gosh, these are stunning. Yeah, I love the idea of mixing. Oh, these are so gorgeous, Jill. Oh my gosh. So have these have got actual shells or muscles that you've incorporated in?
These are ones that I'd picked up off a beach, though technically you're not meant to pick up anything off the beach. But
sorry, can you mute your mic again? I'm so sorry.
No,
it's very annoying, but I'm going to have to keep...
No.
They are beautiful.
But again, it's whether I can actually also produce really lovely materials that I could use as part of the embellishment process.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're definitely onto something with mixing, because these have such a like gorgeous, like handcrafted feel. Finding a way that you could add to that by using digital embroidery and Wilcom would be such a special and cool thing. And I also think that you'd be able to make them so much more, not these more unique, but as in like if you're using a pre-existing fabric, there's only there's only so many things you can do with it, but having a fabric that you've embellished yourself with embroidery and digital embroidery and then working back into it just makes it so much more special and so much more unique. They're absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to ask you that really annoying question, I'm sorry. How long does one of these take you to make?
Several hours.
Oh yeah, because I remember I used to bug me so much when I was working at Hand and Lock, and I'd be doing all these handcrafted people with bees. How long does this take to make? And I'm like, I don't even know how to do it. Because I'm like, well, it depends. Are you talking from the idea of like when I concept the idea, or like the idea of conception, or are you talking about just the sewing part or the finishing? Oh, they're absolutely incredible. So this project here, this sort of seascape one, was this part of your undergraduate, or is this and what was it based off of? Was it around where you live, or how did it really?
For this one, it was looking at a narrative, and the narrative I'd chosen was a Selkie. So the Selkie who leaves what she considers, because there was kind of an element of recycling or using, and what I thought. I mean, I haven't brought all of it. But I'd kind of was thinking of I'd hand embroidered a plastic bag.
Oh wow!
Thinking that it was treasures that she would think were treasures, and that we wouldn't. We wouldn't necessarily consider that the seaweed was treasure. I have a bit of an obsession with miniatures. I love Nicholas Hilliard and Isaac. I can't remember his name, but I just love. And going forward, the Victorians had they really went for eye miniatures.
Yes, and hair. And
so I embroidered the eye and then put it in a pseudo cream container.
Oh, I love that. That's so clever.
Because again, not
something we would overlook.
And not consider that was treasure. So it was that kind of concept of or things that were slightly odd, and so a piece of paper, but
no, changed. I love that idea, and it's so true, because even these mussel shells, there's hundreds of thousands of them all over the beach, and you just walk past them, you're not like, oh, and the way you've managed to like pull it out. And so all of this as well here, sorry, I was going to ask you about on here, where was the one I was looking at? There's like layers of fabric and you've put in between?
I'd put, because kind of experimenting with it, if I tried to put felt or fabric, because it needs something to purchase, the needle to purchase.
Got you.
So what I'd done was put fleece. So,
I see.
But with the organza, the fleece actually gives it a different texture.
Yeah, no, I love the way that you can see some of it coming through. I think that's great. And this one as well, is this hand painted, this fabric? Yes. It's stunning. It's really gorgeous. Yeah, I'd be so intrigued to see, because that's what I was going to ask you, is where do you think, in terms of digital embroidery, where do you think you're going next with it? Because this is all like the most beautiful hand embroidery. And then you've also got your digital embroidery. Like, do you see a world where you're able to sort of collide them all?
I think I would really like to do that.
Yeah.
The other thing that really excites me is that one of the things that I was a little bit wistful about when I because I had initially gone for the costume design, because I thought it as an occupation, and then had been a bit not disappointed to do textiles, but as it progressed, they didn't feel with the mixed media.
Yeah.
If it'd been the print And we were told that we could combine the two to a degree.
Yeah.
But I was a little bit wistful about not having more drawing and that kind of thing. Then with the bears, and particularly the pandas, but I kind of felt that I could draw with the machine. I could definitely produce something that was really illustrative.
Yeah, it's like a bit of sense of freedom again, that you're able to find this other way, a complete way of drawing. Yeah, no, definitely.
Because I really wasn't very good at actually combining. You know, when people are really good at combining shapes to then create.
Yeah.
Certainly on the front of, when you look at the advertising for Wilcom.
Yeah.
With the feathers and all of those kind of things, there is illustrative content, but a lot of it is actually placing the shapes to actually then
give it the movement,
all of that. Whereas I almost feel that I could use it to draw.
Yeah, 100%. They're like the free. I don't know if you've ever used the freehand drawing tool. When I found that, I was like, this is a game changer. I'm like, I could just draw in exactly what I want. And
So not only am I excited about doing kind of combining, but I would really like to take something like this design and really go wild with it.
Yeah, definitely. And there's so much texture and shapes and interesting stuff that you could pull in so many different types of stitch and different techniques and different tools.
And as we were saying before, when you're looking at that one, the seahorse.
Oh, yeah.
When you try to find a detail, then sometimes it really gets lost.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas you could use, as I say, I don't quite know why I don't find that very effective. Perhaps it's the lack of variety of colour. But with all of these, if you used a combination of bead, stitch, and use lots of the other techniques with the digital embroidery, you could just make it
100%.
Sing really. With and really, you know, multimedia.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be so interesting. Even what you were talking about before with the plastic bag and stuff, bringing in different fabrics with different elements and.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whether the plastic bag would be robust enough.
That's
the other.
I put my machine through hell. I stitched on wood. I stitched on plastic. I did it on a crisp packet the other day.
Wow.
Like I break needles left, right, and centre, but I just No, that's gorgeous. I think that'd be so interesting. Have you got a favourite tool in Wilcom?
The thing that I really like, which sounds really strange, is actually the zoom.
Yeah, no. Do you know what? It's an underrated. I haven't had the answer, but that is 100% an underrated answer. Yeah, being able to go in and see the exact stitching and the angle and exactly where it's going to be placed. Yeah.
I mean, checking it out, that's all very interesting.
Yeah.
Being able to run it and actually look and see what's happening with it. But I like I like having the option on all of the tools.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Really.
Stitch Player, you're right, Stitch Player is so useful because the amount of times where I would do something and I'd copy and paste a shape and then I'd realise I'd done it twice and you wouldn't realise until you did Stitch Player and you go, oh yeah, that's actually.
So
how come you ended up doing an undergrad in textiles? So you were originally looking to do costume.
Well, I've always wanted to be an artist.
Yes, and this is what I was going to ask you about because you were a nurse.
I was a nurse for people with learning disability for about 35 years.
Oh, wow.
I'd always wanted to be an artist. I did some A-levels, which I failed because I was doing lots of voluntary work.
Right, okay.
And the voluntary work really led me on to training as a nurse for people with learning disability.
When you decided to do your degree, was it sort of you spent your whole career caring for other people and putting other people's needs first, did it finally feel like, because you've always said you always wanted to be an artist, did it finally feel like you were doing something for you and that you were prioritising your interest? Or what was it that gave you the push to go, do you know what, I'm going to do a degree actually in textile design? That's, yeah.
The push was, well, I had choices. I'd always kind of done courses. So usually short, weekend, evening, it'd kind of been a solace and an inspiration to be making things. And it really social, to actually be spending time with people. The genesis of the flowers was actually starting to make leaves.
Right, okay.
We had a project which was, what we were meant to be doing was making upholstery fabric.
Right.
We had a local upholstery firm. There was also sea salt and a rollout, which was a wallpaper.
Oh, wow.
And I chose the upholstery, thinking that it would be really lovely to kind of make 3D plants, flowers, to put them somewhere slightly strange, to photograph them, and then to create a fabric or something, or the pattern for a fabric from that. So following that idea, I'd enrolled at Westing. Have you heard of Westing?
I haven't.
It's a beautiful place. It's the Edward James Foundation.
Oh, right, okay.
So it does lots of courses. He also does degrees in art and craft and whatnot. And I'd enrolled with a lady called Anne Tomlin, who makes the most exquisite flowers, but realistic flowers.
Incredible.
So realistic that sometimes the insects get confused.
No way. Oh my gosh.
So and I made I didn't do this one with her, but I kind of did this kind of thing with her, thinking that then I could, as I say, put them and photograph them. And that another course, making kind of littler flowers.
Very sweet. Oh my gosh. These are gorgeous.
I think this one I got from her book.
Oh, wow.
And really loved them and wanted to, because again, they're such a combination of things. One in the penultimate project, one of my cohort really wanted to make, she was doing a bridal collection.
Oh, wow.
And wanted to make a lily. So I said, well, you know, I've got the book, I've been on the course, we'll make it together.
Yeah.
And I'd got this really lurid, I don't know if it's here. It's not that, it wasn't that lurid. But I had I have got some drawings. A really patterned fabric that I really, really liked. I've got lots of drawings there. So the long and the short of it was I made the lily with my current friends, put it on my desk, went about doing whatever.
Yeah.
And my lecturer, when we were having supervision, called the lily forth.
Oh, really?
And said, I want you to consider
Focus
making
on this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
So, but not just to focus, because I really like the concept of the realistic. But having started at that point taking the photographs of all of the flowers, some of them look otherworldly, supernatural. Yeah. Just weird. So I wanted to really move away from natural, and have much more of a fantasy element. Okay. And also sometimes just a fabric would speak to me. So for this this one, it was this bit that actually said that it needed to be part of the centre of a flower.
Yeah.
It was this fabric.
That's so interesting. So you let the materials tell you what to do.
Yes. So at least, certainly if it really appeals, that this embroidery was separate. And then the thinking of how that might actually be incorporated. And that possibly is more of an illustration of, I mean, that is, again, hand embroidery, but that kind of thing could be
translated really well onto Wilcom. Yeah, especially if you were trying to do like a bouquet and you wanted multiple.
Yes, because that's the other thing with these, actually replicating any of them would be really quite, and even if I had, say, 6, if I was making 6, perhaps the centres would be very, very similar. They would all be similar, but they would none of them would be the same.
Yeah, mind you, flowers are all different. So gorgeous, these flowers, and they're so. I love the detailing on them and the mixing of techniques, and I think that's something that's so interesting about your work, is the mixing of digital and hand embroidery, and being driven by the materials. It just makes these absolutely gorgeous. They're just so they're so special. I would love to see, because you were talking before about potentially bringing in digital. Are these digital flowers here that you've got?
These yes.
So have you started to explore?
Well, these were just. These are, I suppose, these were kind of the first of trying to not explore, but it's not mass production, but actually making more than one thing. And these had been probably, this design had been with me from the start. That going in and actually really zooming, taking it off True View, which I really, when I look at True View, it doesn't look as, I don't.
I know what you mean.
Whereas, and I know that when you're actually looking at it off True View, it feels a bit faint, doesn't it? It doesn't feel particularly detailed, as if it's a bit ghosty. But it does then enable you to really, again, look at the detail.
It allows you to strip it right back and just go, I know exactly what you mean.
Because I probably would have, by myself, I would have done the petals. I don't think initially I would have been able to really look at going round them. And yet it's going round them that really brings them to the fore.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, using different, because they're a filler a motif, and then I'm sure that's is it satin or Janami?
I guess it could be satin on these ones, on the thinness of them. So would you consider doing them on, right now they're on this like gorgeous felt, would you consider either adding wire or doing them on thinner fabrics in order kind of to manipulate them more?
Yes, not entirely this design, obviously, but you could do a really beautiful centre, and then use them to really,
and even going right back to the beginning with the hand painted like bears. I can imagine if you did a design in Wilcom and then you painted on top and added some like depth to the different areas, it could be so interesting. They're absolutely gorgeous. I really love them. I love that idea. It'd be so gorgeous to have a bunch of them. Come on, let me have a look at that. That is
this
so
again
sick.
is not.
I love how you does your brain, because you have a real contrast of, you're very good at working in the 2D and doing this very illustrative stuff, and then you also have these like incredible like quite 3D textural stuff. Like I find it rare sometimes, like I always work in 2D, my brain works flat, I cannot think 3D. But you have like a real ability to do both, which I find really amazing. These teddy bears are like you know, flat pieces, you know, and they're very illustrative. And then you've also got these, which are so
Well, I'm quite
sculptural.
interested in stump work.
I see, yeah.
And that was what I was doing at the Royal School of Needlework.
I see.
The swan that seduced me was a stump work swan.
Right.
So things like wings.
Yeah.
So the centre of it's again the kind of the compromise, because silk flowers are one thing, fabric flowers are another thing.
Yeah.
And how that influences how people perceive them, and if I do go forward and sell, then price points and things.
Yeah,
because sometimes it's not the skill.
Yeah.
It should be, but sometimes it's the materials that you use. True. But at the same time, the thought of actually doing some stump work and being able to, I mean, the wings, you could do such beautiful wings, couldn't you?
You really could. I saw a girl on my degree, she did this gorgeous, she basically designed her own lace and then made it on Wilcom.
Oh, that sounds...
And it was incredible. And it was like based off of her grandparents and stuff. But I can imagine even having the details of something that you could hand set, but it'd be look very fiddly. And being able to do that on a very thin organza would look absolutely gorgeous. It's so exciting.
Yeah. I think going forward, I am really looking forward to using the software and seeing what's possible.
Yeah.
And I'm really also looking forward to honing my skills really in the context of drawing and seeing what kind of narrative I can create.
Yeah, you have such a beautiful illustrative quality to your drawings, I think, and also combining that with these like amazing like hand stitched elements. I think combining that with Wilcom, you're going to create such cool, like interesting pieces. Yeah, I really can't wait to see what you go up to. I've been watching closely because it's going to be so interesting to see what you produce next, and being able to combine this together. It feels like there's more infinite possibilities when you use something like Wilcom, because when you do hand stitch, time is a massive thing.
Yes.
And like the thickness of the stick, there's so many elements that can sometimes, I mean, it's obviously you can do whatever, but when you use a mixture of the different software and hand, there's like infinite possibilities of the things